Hello, Central Avenue. Today's Earth Day. As you can see, I'm wearing green in honor of our Earth. Hopefully we did something today to help it. So today we're going to talk about throwing and catching. I know this is a skill that we learned when we were in the younger grades. We learned this in earlier in the year, but in the future, we're going to be using our throwing and catching very soon. All right. Some of us play softball or baseball. Okay. Some of us might just have a catch in the backyard, but we're going to use our throwing and catching skills probably in about a month or so. Can't tell you why though. All right. First thing we're going to talk about is our foundation. Okay. If we're going to build a house, okay, we build the foundation first. The foundation, okay, which is our lower half, is very, very important in athletics. Without our lower half, okay, we can't do a lot of things in athletics. So we're going to work on our foundation first. Okay, and all it is my feet. I want to make a good base. All right, my feet are shoulder width apart. We learned this in class. Okay, so that way I'm stable and I can move in any direction. So it's also going to help me to where I'm throwing. So I'm going to pretend I'm throwing in this direction. So the first thing we're going to talk about is our stance. All right, like I talked about, my feet are shoulder width apart. All right, my front shoulder is pointing at my target. So if I'm going to throw the ball at the camera, my front shoulder is pointing right here at the target. All right, so we're going to call that statue. All right, so I'm going to stand just like a statue. My next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this ball up to about my ear level. Okay, if it came across, it would be about ear level. My elbow is up. So we're going to call this muscle man. All right, so both my arms are out like making muscles. Next thing we're going to do is I'm going to point my front shoulder and my front arm, all right, at my target. Okay, we're going to call this Superman. So like when Superman's flying through the air, okay, he got his arm pointed. All right, so I have statue, I have muscle man, I have Superman. Now, in order to get momentum on this throw, all right, I'm going to step and we're going to say swim, because I'm going to bring my arm forward and my other arm's going to come around. All right, so I got statue, muscle man, Superman, step, swim, and throw. All right, and that's where I'm going to release the ball. Now remember, I'm stepping with my opposite foot. So if I'm right-handed, I'm going to step with my left foot. What this does, it allows my back hip, okay, my right hip now, to come forward. And again, like I talked about, my base, my lower half is where the power comes from. It's not so much how much of a strong arm you have, and that comes into play, believe me, okay, but also how much do you use your lower half. If I were just to throw the ball like this, the ball would only go so far. But if I were to step, throw, and bring my back hip through, to bring my arm through, I'm going to put that much more on the ball. After I throw the ball, I do something called the follow through. All right, so I step, arms come up, arm goes out, arms swim and through. I continue on after I release the ball, and I follow through. And I follow through. I even bring my back foot up or my back foot through. Okay, that takes a lot of tension off my arm, off my shoulder, off my back. It allows me to throw the ball that much further and that much longer. All right, it's very important. So that's our overhand throw, right? Now, underhand throw is the same thing. Arm is up over my shoulder, so overhand, hand is down, under my shoulder, underhand throw, all right? In softball, the pitcher throws underhand, but they also throw overhand. In baseball, the pitcher throws overhand, but they might throw underhand if maybe they're turning a double play. Maybe someone's close to the other position player and they need to flip the ball underhand. So in both games, overhand and underthrow are very important. All right, so right now I have a baseball. Right, you don't need a baseball, really even a ball, to practice your throwing and catching. What you could do is take an everyday sock. All right, I'm going to use my breast awareness sock here. I'm going to roll it up. Okay, I'm going to keep rolling it up until I get something that looks like a ball. All right, and I could practice my throwing, underhand and overhand, and then also I can practice my catching. When I catch the ball, there's a few things that I need to do to be successful. Number one, is I need to use my eyes. A lot of people forget that. If I can't see where the ball is coming at me, I'm not going to be able to catch it. So if I watch the ball coming from my partner, or if I threw it off the wall or a batted ball or whatever it is, as it's coming to me, I'm tracking the ball. All right, so I'm watching it all the way till it gets to where I want to catch it. All right, so I use my eyes. Also, obviously, I use my hands. Okay, all parts of my hands to, number one, catch the ball in the basket that I've made. I could be using a glove. Even in lacrosse, I'm using a stick. I'm still catching the ball with my eyes and whatever piece of equipment in my hands to cradle the ball. All right, if the ball is above my belly button, my fingers should be up towards the sky, creating a pocket. If the ball is below my belly button, my fingers are down and my thumbs are up. So you can see how my hands kind of work like a clock. Okay, they go up and around, and that's how I'm going to catch the ball. So if it's up high, I'm catching it here. If it's down low, I'm catching it here. But also I could change that position by moving my body. All right, so if the ball's up high, obviously I move my hands. If the ball's off to the side, I move either way. If the ball's right at me, I could squat down a little bit lower, catch it with my hands up. What I don't want to do is try to catch the ball while it's coming at me this way with my thumbs down, fingers down, or maybe it glances off and hits me. Same thing down this way. I can't get my glove down too low or the ball's going to hit and go down to the ground. All right, so make sure my hands are moving like a clock back and forth. All right, so just a little review with our throwing and catching. Okay, remember we're using a good strong base. I'm stepping with my opposite foot to allow my back hip to come through on my turn. All right, so I got statue, muscle man to get the arm up, Superman to get to the position I'm throwing, step, I swim, and I release, throw, follow through. Statue, muscle man, Superman, step, swim, and throw. Right? Again, you can practice this a little bit, even with yourself, throwing the ball up in the air and then catching it, tracking it with your eyes, moving up and down, watching the ball right back into your hand. Right? You don't need a lot of space to practice your throwing and catching. If you have a small area, fine. I wouldn't recommend in the house in case you knock something over, but just throwing it back and forth, okay, or short distance onto the ground with something like a sock shouldn't be breaking anything. Right? Again, we're going to use this soon. Okay, again, I can't tell you why, all right, but we're going to use it. So when we tell you to start practicing, we're going to give you the skills, and we're going to give you the activity to practice, I should say, to use our overhand and underhand throwing. I hope everybody's doing well. I miss everybody. I hope we're staying hydrated by drinking our water, eating our healthy snacks, make sure we're getting our sleep, right? Make sure we're doing our homework. Make sure we're staying positive. All right, look for something each day positive, even if you have to look a little bit harder.